So Julie and I came across this free museum right here in Berlin, right, it's right around the corner from our hotel, called the Terror Museum of Terror. Hold on, let me make sure I say that right. It's the Terror Museum, or the Museum of Terror. I'm going to spin the camera around. There's a gate right here, and this was actually the facility where the SS started. Actually, this is where they were headquartered out of. So this portrays the building that was once here, which was a palace by some French guy in the 1737 to 1739. A French baron built it, put it up here. But in 1928 to 1934, the security service of the Reich leader took it over. From 1928 in November 1934, the security service of the Reich into the palace. So they moved in 1934. Richard Heydrich, I guess he died in 1942, was one of the SD leaders. Here it is when it's destroyed. From the bombing, from the Allied bombing, this building got destroyed, and then after World War II, it got totally demolished. Nothing's there now, but there's a museum. We'll get into that in just a moment. But one thing noted for, which is really remarkable because it's kind of subtle and it's free, is that this was the site where the headquarters were, where they organized the killing squads that were just specially designed to go and apprehend people and kill them. They would either kill them on the spot or get them to the concentration camps where that took place. So we're going to enter in down there. Looks like there's some people gathering already. This looks like it's fairly easy to get into. There's a yard you walk around on top, and then there's a museum down on the bottom. And I'll do more video when I get down there. Before we actually enter into the museum, I wanted to show you this that we saw last night also. Once again, this is just a short walk from our hotel. Is that Berlin Wall is still up. And at this point, we're in West Berlin. We'd be in West Berlin looking into East Berlin. And you could see, let me get an angle here. I talked about this in a previous video, how these things bowed out on top to prevent people from climbing, or to make it harder for them to climb over. Now the interesting thing on this wall, what I like to see on this wall, is that you could see once the proclamation was made to reunify it, how people were individuals just like breaking through just to make holes, just to squeeze through. Here's a good example here too. So this damage was done by private people on either side just to break a hole to crawl through it. There's some graffiti here on this side that would have been there when this was, actually I'm standing on the east side of the wall. So that's the east side of the wall. Let me go back here. This would be looking into what would be the west. Checkpoint Charlie is down that street and that way going west. And then this is the wall. And then this would be the, I'm getting confused. I'm confusing myself. This would have been the east side of the wall. Yes. This is east. No, give me a second. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm on the west side looking eastbound. So that would have been East Berlin. Checkpoint Charlie is to my right, looking the same direction, which would be East Berlin. And I would be in West Berlin on this side. So this side is the West Berlin side. If the, obviously, wall was still. So here's the name of the museum. Once again, it's free. A lot of tour groups are here. There's the name of it. Okay, I'm gonna pause it again and get more inside. So this brickwork underneath where you see the wall, this brickwork could be the actual foundation of the structure that was once here. And so we're gonna start the tour on that end, and then you come across this way. And then this is just a field. We'll walk around this later. But this would have been the field where the structure was, where the SS were. When you come in, you'll see a demorama on the inside building. This demorama lines up with this picture, this aerial photo. So for instance, if you look at this building here, that has that little rotunda protrusion, it's The reflection's not going to allow it, but it's right there with that opening is that one with that little pentagon looking opening. But the other cool thing is, if you look at this park right here, this open air area park, it's portrayed right there, and it's right here. So the park is still here. This flat structure is where this flat area is where one of the structures were. That's no longer. Also, exactly where I'm standing was a structure that's no longer here. But looking around, unbelievable. This is a free museum, but looking around, budget yourself at least an hour, because we haven't even gone to the outside yet. That has more along the foundation that I filmed earlier. So this is portraying. These are Italian and German soldiers over here apprehending some Italian resistance people on the right. This is in Rome, and this could very well be some of those plaques I had seen in Rome. The date, March 23, 1994. So this is showing the Gestapo in Rome.
Navy members took part because that was right on the Latvian coast, close to the Navy, and they a lot of them watched this, but also some people took part. So this is some kind of context that we have here, which I thought we also give the quote. Everything would be lovely when choosing this morning for 96. He was involved in the resistance in 1939, which was
Okay, we made it out of the inside museum portion, and now we're on the outside of that long strand. So there's the Berlin Wall, and once again we're on the west side looking east, and I believe these are the foundations of the building that was once here that got destroyed. That inside building there, a lot of information up top, a lot of information all around. Underneath, you go down like into a basement. It's like a research library with all the books and journals and stuff to research further if you'd like. A lot of the information here is just kind of restating what you will read in there, just in a little bit of a different format. So we're running a little bit short on time. So I'm probably not going to spend too much time in this section, but if you do come here, you can also explore the grounds. There's areas up here that are lined out to show you what rooms were once standing. Okay, before I forget, I wanted to show you this transformation of these cobblestones, and as they're outlining the Berlin Wall. So you'll see that, but this is a rare one. We can actually see where the wall picks up. So we actually just left the museum research center that was here, the one of Topography of Terror museum. We just left, but they do a really good job on transforming, especially in that portion of the museum, from World War II, from the end of World War II and the Germans to the beginning of the Cold War and dealing with the Russians. So there's a remainder of what's left of the wall, and that's where it was originally standing. I showed that in the beginning. That's the same wall I showed you guys in the beginning. And you come down to the street level, and then it denotes it by where the wall was once standing with these cobblestones. You'll see these all over Berlin now, so you can see where the wall once was. So right here kind of shows Julie just pointed something out. So this was the wall, tracing to the wall, and it makes a right angle, a 90-degree angle, and it goes across. So on this side is West Berlin. We're pretty close to Checkpoint Charlie, but it makes this right-hand turn, and they have these plaques on here that say Berlin Wall 1961 to 1989, and it crosses over there, and then it makes another turn. But what I want to do is if I can get that background of that building, because that picture I put on Facebook from July 1992, they're standing on that corner with that building in the background. So let me see if we can get